I'd like to welcome in NewsNation political contributor and host of Kurt's Country, Kurt Bardella. Kurt, it's great to see you. Is this endorsement, and granted, she has millions of followers, is it, though, actually going to move more Gen Z, more millennial voters to vote the same way as this superstar?
Yes. For most celebrities, I would say no. It's a non-event. It doesn't move the needle. But Taylor Swift has shown time and again that she is a needle mover single-handedly. When she puts out a link that says register to vote, that website gets 50,000, 100,000 new voter registrations. An election that's going to be, by all predictive models, including our own DDHQ, very narrow, one that will be decided by just tens of thousands of votes in just a handful of states. If she can get just 5,000 Gen Z voters, young women voters, to register to vote in each one of those swing states, that could be enough to make a sizable impact on the outcome of this election. And when you have the most viral entertainer in all the world, with one of the largest and most engaged followings in all the world, that is an arsenal that is in your favor that can be deployed incredibly effectively when we head into October. And the other side of that, too, is right now Donald Trump is picking a fight with Taylor Swift. Every minute that Donald Trump spends talking about Taylor Swift, talking about her fan base, talking about the consequences of her endorsement, that's one less minute he's spending fighting Kamala Harris, the person who's actually on the ballot. So this has multiple effects.
And Kurt, one of the things you mentioned there was the registering. And as part of her statement, she did remind her followers that in order to vote, you have to be registered. So, encouraging them to register. How do you think we're going to see the Harris team try to capitalize on this endorsement?
I think that if you're the Harris team, you let Taylor speak for herself. The one mistake that Donald Trump made here was he provoked Taylor into taking a public stand by misrepresenting her, which is not a smart thing to do when you're talking about, again, one of the most engaging and charismatic entertainers of our time, who has defined an entire genre and decade, really, selling out stadiums all around the world. Why would you provoke her into taking a public stand? You left her no choice when you shared misinformation about her. The Kamala Harris team should do nothing. They should let Taylor do Taylor and trust that she knows what she's doing. She is a communications marketing genius and has shown time again she knows how to use her brand when she is motivated. Donald Trump will keep her motivated. The Harris team doesn't need to do anything.
So you mentioned the fact, the Trump fighting back against Taylor. In her statement, she did make that reference to, that AI of her falsely endorsing Trump that he had posted on Truth Social. How damaging do you think this direct calling out of the former president could be to him?
I think it could be incredibly consequential because if you're just the casual Taylor Swiftie, who loves her music, who loves the message of women empowerment, of expressing your feelings, of sharing your life story in a very entertaining, compelling way, modern day poetry turned to music, you may not be thinking about politics. You may not be thinking about the consequences of the election. You're not thinking about the issue of Roe v. Wade and abortion. You don't even necessarily know what the cat lady reference is until you dive into it a little bit more. She is becoming this pipeline for these young women to discover politics, to discover their voice, to take an interest in something they may not have been paying attention to before.
All right, last question for you, Kurt. We know every entertainer is certainly not Taylor Swift. At the end of the day, do people tend to care who celebrities are voting for, who are not Taylor Swift?
Most of the time, no. Whether it's on the right, whether it's Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan, or the George Clooney dynamic that we've seen many times in Democrat policy, most of the time people don't matter. But Taylor's the rare exception who is a cause and effect, move the needle type of personality. And if she decides to deploy herself and do something like, hey, what if she had some concerts in swing states where the only thing you need to get in is a voter registration ID? That could be very consequential.
Wow, yeah, certainly could be. All right, Kurt Bardella, thank you so much for your time.
We'll talk to you soon.